say the information professional is going to change. Let's look at the information companies, because the subtitle of your book here, The Power of Organizing Without Organizations. Yes. That's a scary subtitle for any company in the information profession.
Now, what I meant by that was we used to assume that if we saw large-scale organized behavior, we would say, oh, there is some managed business, government organization, NGO behind that. But when you look at Linux, the open source operating system, when you look at Wikipedia, you see large-scale order, but you don't see the company that's hiring everybody to do the work. What I don't, however, mean by that is I don't mean that, PowerPoint slide we've been seeing for 10 years, which is old way, hierarchies, new way, networks. Networks are going to replace hierarchies. What's coming now is not wholesale replacement, but a period of fairly complicated hybridization. Right? There have always been loose social networks. Science, in a way, is a networked enterprise. What's happening now is that the monopoly on directed action no longer exists with managed institutions. There are now places where we have directed action that doesn't come down from a CEO or a managing director down to the rank and file. And so companies are finding themselves in industry after industry, and especially in information industries, trying to figure out how to come to some kind of accommodation with this new reality. The adaptation I'm watching keenly right now is Encyclopedia Britannica, which, after several years of either ignoring or disparaging Wikipedia, has begun to say, you know what, not being able to share the contents of this encyclopedia is now an obstacle to our growth. It used to be our business model, now it's an obstacle to growth. And they're doing things like letting high influence webloggers post articles for free, link to articles for free. They're letting people suggest changes, fact check. And they're trying to come to some kind of middle ground between the old sort of 1700s model of Britannica, the original model it was based on, and the Wikipedia model. Whether they'll succeed or not, I mean, it's just one company, is anybody's guess. But in industry after industry, some of that kind of hybridization is becoming an imperative.
And the key thing that jumped out at me was that when you say every URL is a latent community, you're unleashing a tremendous power, and the same is certainly true with Britannica.
Right.
If they unleash that power, potentially, not only do they destroy their business model, but they open up a new model.
See, this is really, can they get into the new model before the old model comes crashing down around them? And that idea that every URL is a latent community is really, that in my view is really the heart of this fusing of the broadcast and communications patterns. There's a great example from last year when HSBC went around recruiting UK graduates with a promise of penalty-free checking. Needless to say, a lot of people signed up, and then over the summer they reneged on the deal. They said, "Well, we're actually going to start charging you £140 if you have an overdraft," and only gave people 30 days to change their checking account. And they assumed at the time that they had a model on a monopoly on decisive action. But they hadn't reckoned on Facebook. And a guy named Wes Streeting put up a Facebook page starting a protest. HSBC, realizing they suddenly had the organized protest of thousands of their customers, ultimately backed down. And the interesting thing is that there were two environments that people were talking about this, right? The UK radio, television, newspapers. The Telegraph publishes a story. When the Telegraph publishes a story, they say, HSBC is reneging on their deal. Just thought you'd like to know. They can't do anything else. When it goes on Facebook, on the other hand, Wes Streeting, who put up the Facebook page, can say, HSBC is reneging on the deal. Thought you might like to know. Here's something you can do about it. And it is that third thing, not just media as a site of information, but as a site of collective action as well. It doesn't just inform, it coordinates the people who come to read it. And so Streeting took the Facebook URL and said, it's not just that I want to tell people that the world is changing. I want them to use this page as a way to come together and do something about it. And every URL has some group of people looking at it, and there may be some ancillary benefit in coordinating those people with one another, as well as just using the web to distribute information.
So a new opportunity for the information professional then to be that coordinator as well as the organizer.
Right. The information professional now has not just the power to inform, but the power to convene. But that's a very different self-conception, set of skills, set of imperatives than people who have been in the information businesses have previously dealt with. In fact, the idea has historically been, as with the book, here you go, I'm going to now withdraw, and our conversation is done. Once it becomes a question of convening power, then it is, when I reach these people with the information that I hope they're interested in, what else can I do for them, and what can I help them do for one another? That's a new set of opportunities, but it requires not just sitting around talking about how great the 1980s were when you could ship CD-ROMs and charge for them, but actually figuring out where the business opportunity lies in this environment of fused communication patterns.
And that's certainly an opportunity we'd like you to explore at the online conference.
Very
Clay
good.
Shirky, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in December.
Thanks so much. Looking very forward to it.
Thank you.